Hello, this is Ashley here from Elemental Growth. I want to talk to you today about one of my little secret tools that I use to help me achieve more self-awareness, reach my goals, overcome roadblocks, and so much more. I can't even explain. So I'm just going to tell you what this tool is, and if you're interested, you can, experiment for yourself. Or look into the other research that is available. This is not going to be me talking about the research. I also am not a supplier of these tools. This is strictly just about my personal experience and also some realizations that I've had as a health coach, because I am certified in hormone health, integrative nutrition. I'm also a master's in Reiki and health coaching. So I'm taking my experience as well as my certifications to bring you this special tool today. So I have a son. He is about 3 years old now, and before I conceived him, I was experimenting with what Terence McKenna calls the heroic dose. This is 5 grams of dried psilocybin mushrooms. And I'm getting a little bit attacked by mosquitoes here in the forest. So don't mind if I'm swatting anyways. So this experience really helped me overcome a lot of addictions that I had in a way that was different from other self-help books, other methods. And I'm going to give you this little tidbit too, like some of the addictions that I was overcoming with cigarettes and alcohol. There is a 28-day program, the AA program, right? Well, even the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, he was using psychedelics as a tool. He used LSD. I'm more of a natural girl. I'm drawn to mushrooms, ayahuasca. The newest for me has been Cambo. I'll get into that stuff in a later episode if it's something that interests you. For now, I just want to keep talking about psilocybin mushrooms, or magic mushrooms as they're talked about by the majority today. So I was doing the heroic dose, and I would do this about once a week or at least a couple times a month to help me reset, get clear, slay some of my demons. I often liked watching Alice in Wonderland. I love that movie, so I'm going to use it as a reference today. It was like Alice in Wonderland when she goes through the looking glass and ends up slaying the Jabberwocky. The Jabberwocky being those demons, those shadows that you have inside of yourself, those dark places that you really don't want to explore. But the mushrooms allow you to have communication, make new pathways, and really start getting out of your own way so that you can live your full potential. And mushrooms are both entertaining as well as the connectors. They connect the forest. They also connect our mind and our body and our spirit. So much can be said about this. Now, what's new is that I was breastfeeding Finn for 3 years. Finn is my son. And so I wasn't experimenting with these tools anymore. I instead was going more yoga, meditation. Those were already parts of my life, but I felt more comfortable with the breastfeeding phase because psilocybin is still illegal to be spending my time in those areas and practicing in that way. That said, when I stopped breastfeeding, when I knew that Finn was no longer dependent and he had been off of the breast milk for some time, I got into what they call today microdosing. And I wasn't necessarily a fan of microdosing. I was like, you can't pussyfoot around the real thing. Just go and do the heroic dose and you will get your medicine, you will get your answers. But I gotta say, I have done 10 microdosing sessions now. 10. That's not a lot. I microdosed about 2.2 grams. So really, if you get a gram of mushrooms, that can do about 6 doses, essentially. I think I'm doing that math right. I'm not sure because I didn't measure it out. I'll be honest, I didn't. So yeah, I get off of that subject and back to the actual medicinal tool part. So my first session was really eye-opening. I went in with an intention that there was something holding me back, something that I was fighting myself from exploring, answers that I knew that I had inside of me, but were blocked by trauma and repressed memories, things of that sort. So when I did this dose, I got my answer and I journaled about it. I actually made a video about it that you can find on my YouTube. It's called A Fractal Existence. And so that was a real good piece of medicine. From there, I just started working on those parts, helping to manifest my dreams. And so when it came to the microdosing, at first I did about 3 sessions. Maybe they weren't back to back, but they were within a week period. After that, I switched and started doing them twice a month, once on the full moon, once on the new moon. And that's what I'm going to continue doing, at least for now, or until I want to change things up, because I feel like that is actually like a really sacred time to do it. And you can enhance the powers of the mushrooms and the connections by aligning to the moon cycles, as I wrote about in my book, Be the Change, Your Guide to Elemental Growth. I don't talk so much about psychedelics in that. I just, in the introduction, I think I mentioned sacred journeys, which would have been the heroic dose, but I didn't get into it a lot. However, I did talk a lot about the moon cycles, about the sun cycles, seasonal foods, stuff like that, which are all also very helpful tools when you're going through these kind of journeys. Now that I've done about 10 microdose sessions, today is the new moon, so I'm going to do another one. This will be going on to my 11th, 12th, something there. I have it on my calendar because I am a health coach, right? So I track all of these things. I track my progress. I track the questions that I ask. I track my intentions going into any of these scenarios and my results. So if you do want that information, or you want me to write more trip reports or create more videos for you, please let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to provide you that material. For now, I really just want to express how powerful of a tool this is, even though I was second guessing it. Microdosing may be just as beneficial as the heroic dose, with you actually having a little bit more pull. You don't have to surrender as much, and the surrender part is scary for people who are experimenting with psychedelics. So you don't have to surrender as much. You can still have the entertaining, but it helps you focus. So if you're setting an intention, anything like that, it's really powerful tool, you guys. And let me just add this one thing that I was sharing with a client yesterday. This is a client who has never experimented with psychedelics ever. Never even smoked pot, really, none of these things. And here's how I explained it to him. So maybe it'll help you guys if you are, if you're really new to these kind of conversations. So we only use a small percentage of our brain. When we do brain scans, not me specifically, but when you can go and you can see brain scans of Buddhist monks who are using even more of their brain through meditation and yoga and other practices. And then you see somebody whose brain scan shows psychedelics. There's a lot more lit up. I believe in my soul, and this is why I'm freely talking about these things now, because I feel that it's kind of my job to share this now because of my insights and long history of using psychedelics, is that we're oppressed as a collective. We are globally oppressed by using our full capacity, our full potential of our brain health. We are kept down and down and down by so many things, by our food supply, by our medications, by just so much. But it's collective. This is not just an individual thing. This is not a cultural thing. This is as a collective. Psychedelics have been used as a tool since the beginning of time, since ancient Egyptians. They would use blue lotus flowers, psilocybin mushrooms. They can both be found globally, and these were used as tools. They were even given to pregnant women, to breastfeeding women. They were given to children. They help us connect. This is the basis of all religion, starts with psychedelics. The basis of so many things, of our medications, of our spirituality. And I really encourage you guys to just get out there, do some research, start having these conversations and asking questions. I feel really empowered and inspired to help liberate you. And I would love to see you as liberated as I feel. You know, that's why they call psilocybin liberty caps, because it liberates you. And I hope that you get that chance, or at least a chance, to dive into these kind of subjects. They're not for everybody, but the information is. You don't need to use psychedelics as a tool, but it could be a gateway into the tools that you specifically need. All right, I love you. I wish you the very best on your elemental growth journey.